Okay, so today we are joined by the amazing Johnathan Raymaker.
Hi there, Blue.
Hello, hello.
Hi,
Thank
everyone.
you for joining.
Absolutely welcome.
So here we are in the yet to be named village. I have taken plot 1 on the left here, and my building is my house is being built. You are welcome to choose your plot and commence your building.
Where's the sun? See, I want my garden to be on the sun. So I suppose the light green bit here is my garden.
It is indeed, yep.
And then the brown bit is my living accommodation.
That's the foundation, yeah, for your house.
Right. And I see you've already gone for architectural thing number 1, which is no roof, because it's not going to rain. So
exactly.
That'll be a theme. There we go.
So let me ask you then. So when did you start playing Scrap Mechanic?
I started playing it just after Survival came out, but I've been watching it since Christmas last year. So on YouTube I ran into Scrapman and Khan, Moonbow, but like the bunch that was already producing creative videos from the creative world, and that triggered me. But when Survival came out, that was for me like, right, okay, now it's a game. Now there's a purpose, there's goals, there's little problems to be solved, big problems to be tackled.
Yeah.
And that in combination with having to work from home and not moving out of the door very much, basically got me into Scrap Mechanic Survival.
Yeah, it was very similar for myself.
Yeah, so they and I like the multiplayer Monday stuff because it is a multiplayer environment already.
Yep.
And it's a great sandbox. Just as the concept of having a block building system like Minecraft, really. I don't want to compare it to Minecraft at all, but the block building system is very reminiscent of that. Except in this case, you can, if you put it on wheels, your blocks all of a sudden have become free from the grid of the world.
Yeah.
But you can still use that very fine-tuned building mechanism of using blocks, and make your own inventions.
Totally.
Which you can then drive and fly around. That's just amazing.
I'm going to take the for sale sign down while you build your house.
Very good, because I wouldn't want it to be nabbed away from me.
Exactly.
There we go. Nice.
Oh, lovely. Little back porch area.
Little back porch. And we'll sit here and we'll sit in the sun. And
yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Well, you can have your front porch, can't you?
You've
got your front area. You can put a little 2-block wide seat in there. Oh, you've got one on the side. Yeah. No, well, you've got a little patch here.
Yeah, I got a little bit.
Work.
I had some trees here, but then I couldn't walk around my plants, but I couldn't fit around it, so I took them away.
Yeah. And so this is odd. Why do I have a defense pose in creative, but I don't have it in survival, where it makes sense?
Oh, I didn't know that. How do you do that defense pose?
Well, if you right mouse click, if you have your hammer in creative, and you right mouse click, hold it.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
So what's the point of that in creative?
Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know.
Well, your house is looking very good. See, I'm quite lucky. Building my house slowly over the few episodes, I get to steal other people's ideas.
Yeah, you'll be able to capitalize on your visitors.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that going to work, or is that too close? That's too close.
So now we found out a little bit about how you got started with Scrap Mechanic. Let me find out a little bit more about yourself. So where are you based? If you're happy to let me.
I'm based in the Netherlands, which is opposite Britain. That's where I'm currently based. I mean, well, not currently. I've always been based here, but my family's originally from Britain, which is obviously where the accent comes from.
Yeah. So I remember when you told me that the first time, I was surprised because I don't know, because you obviously you have a very British accent. I didn't even think that you were you lived anywhere else. So I was really surprised to hear that. So yeah.
Yeah, well, you're not the first person to assume that it's going to be Britain, based on the language. But then again, you wouldn't be able to pinpoint my accent to somewhere in Britain.
No, very true.
Because it's quite generic because it isn't from anywhere specific. There we go.
Excellent. Something that's always quite difficult to tell from voices sometimes is sort of ages.
Right.
Are you happy to give like any indication or an age range?
48 at the moment.
Oh, excellent.
So there you go. That's a quite precise range.
Yeah. Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah. Excellent. That's great.
Where do we go with this? See if we can go up a bit more. There we go.
So
what is to the roof? I'm not quite sure why. Yeah, I think this.
Yes, it's difficult, isn't it, when you want to get into roofs and you're limited with the square blocks. Get any decent shape on it.
Yeah, it's very pixely.
Yeah, looking good from here though.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I'm just making up as I'm going along, but
yeah,
it's going to be a very solar-based house. We could have solar panels up here one day.
A lot of energy from the sun. Yeah, facing the right way for that.
Yep. Let's build this up a bit.
So what other things you're interested in? Do you have any other hobbies?
Oh well, a major hobby is music.
You include a lot of your own music in your videos, don't you?
Right. So over the years, I've played in a lot of little bands and never professionally, but I've really enjoyed my music since I've been young. And I've been making a lot of electronic music over the last 10 years as well. Well, electronic, I mean using the PC to make music as opposed to having to go into a practice room or a recording studio to record stuff.
Yeah.
And that's always really just been sitting on my PC. Never did anything with it. And then I started making these videos with Scrap. And it's like, well, what shall I put under it? It's like, all right, I'll put my own stuff in it. So making music is a big hobby. And doing the videos for Scrap has really changed what I write. Because it's not songs anymore. It's actually become soundtracks which go with the videos.
Yeah. It has been quite evident in the videos I've seen recently that, you know, how the music really captures what's going on.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and it's I was again surprised to hear that, you know, that was all written by yourself as well. So very talented.
We'll take that one off. Oh, see, I was going to take a block off there and didn't work.
Yeah, with the hammer out. Yeah. So when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? What, you know?
Oh, I knew this question was coming, didn't I? Well, I wanted to be a journalist, actually.
Right.
But that's like being a kid at 8, 9, 10 years old when somebody asks you what you want to be. Well, I'm just sitting here thinking how that makes sense nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think it is because I do like to ask questions.
Right, I see. Yeah.
And so that still pops up in my work, which I do, where I'll inventory customers' questions and figure out what their software needs to be like. Mm-hmm. So I help them design software. So try and do it again there.
See, that was going to be my next question. I was going to say, what do you do now? What is your job? So yeah.
I think that the official term would be a functional designer for software. So
Right.
I'll sit down with a customer who says, I want a website that does X, Y, and Z. And then I'll try and translate those requests into something that'll actually work for them when you start pressing buttons on the website.
Yeah.
So I don't actually build the software or those sites myself, but I figure out what it should do.
So do you think your profession sort of helped you with this game, or in any way?
Right. So if you have asked the question, what you want to be when you were younger, and I said journalist, it's asking the question and analysing what is really going on, and formulating that into some answer. So all right, am I going to give this away? I'll give this away. You could basically watch any video I've done, and the first section will be that I'm asking a question.
Mm-hmm.
The next piece, I'll be analysing the question and maybe mucking around with some prototypes. And then I come up with a solution which answers the requirements to what the question was at the beginning.
Yes.
And so that's why Scrap Mechanic really triggers me, is it allows you to have problems, and that's why the survival triggers me. It produces problems that want to be solved.
Yeah.
And so how do you crush a farm bot? Or how do you get the component kits out of a farm bot? That's a good question to ask, and then analyse it and figure out what did I do there. And then figure out how to go and do it with minimal resources, etc. There we go. It's starting to look like
it's looking lovely. Yeah.
a little chalet.
Yeah. I mean, you've got quite limited space, so you've got a pretty interesting looking house, mate. Whereas I was going for a pretty much almost a square.
Yeah.
I'll be changing that up now. So then, so tell us about the Scrap Mechanic content you like to create for your channel. I know you've touched upon the kind of formula you use, but your videos seem very. I would say there's a lot. It appears like there's a lot of effort goes into them, and I think you could see the quality of what you produced at the end.
Well, it's role play, so I think maybe people might miss this, but I'm not playing as me, the guy behind a PC playing a PC game, showing you how to do stuff. Every video you see is actually a character who's crashed on this planet. He has no idea of a guy sitting behind a PC, and he's trying to survive on that world. And that's where the story element comes in. That character, that mechanic, does know nothing about update 4.8.
Yeah.
So when he finds an oil pool, it's, well, what on earth has happened here? It's been an earthquake or something. So I like to do that. I like to put a story into. I like to storify the gameplay. Yeah. And then keep it in the role play there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that results in it allows you to write a text and put little word jokes in it. And to have references at the beginning of the text which you have show up later on again in the subtitles. And then another question which goes with that, well, what you like, is I like to use the subtitles, and people are like, well, you should use your voice. But I'm not doing that purposely, because there's a lot of things you can't do in voice that you can do in text.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a punchline, which is connected to a visual, it's much cooler to do that in a subtitle which shows up together with the visual.
Yeah. And as, I suppose as the, like you say, as your it's this character, it's unlikely that he would be speaking to the audience anyway, so we're almost like seeing his thoughts in the text.
Absolutely. It's right? A monologue, really.
Yeah.
It's a monologue going on.
Yeah. No, I think it's great, and it really works. Yeah, I think I think we said earlier that I found Scrap Mechanic similar, sort of, or my interest in it kind of peaked similar time to yours, but I was a bit later, I think, getting started in it. So I think I'm starting to reach my limit now with survival, and I think I'm gonna start thinking about other things I can do myself. And I think a lot of creators that I watch, that like yourself had already reached that peak a little while ago. I mean, the amount of hours you've already said you've put into the game, compared to me, is like mine is minimum. But
well, I don't suggest anyone do it.
No.
Reaching the limit of where survival stops being fun is when it runs out of problems to be tackled.
Yes, yeah.
And I guess there we could do with a little bit more content to play with to keep us busy. Yeah,
totally. And I think a few little issues, if they were solved, might make a big difference as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so you mentioned that you've got a job, so I assume that means you're not a full-time YouTuber.
No, I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I'm officially a small YouTuber.
Yeah.
I've today. Should I mention the number? I'm actually at 665.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm one off the naughty number.
Yeah.
So no, officially, I don't know my money out to this, and I don't expect that to happen any day soon. If you look at what is required in viewer numbers a month, you're looking at millions before you're making an income.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to be realistic on that and say, well, if this nets me if this nets me a nice night out on the town every month, that would be fun.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're enjoying making the content, it doesn't really matter.
No.
I suppose it's but it's anything you can get from it's just a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't intended anyway as an income source. It was intended as a gosh, look at all the silly things I can do with this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
So what do you have any like future plans for your channel? Anything you don't mind divulging, should I say?
Well, here's the truth. I can't spend the next 40 years on a YouTube channel doing Scrap Mechanic.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I'm not the only one who thinks about, gosh, what can I do next? And I do chat to other people who make videos, and there's always the question of, will I estrange my? You're in the way of my block. There's a block there.
I suddenly realised when I come there, you're building there.
Yeah, you want to see what I'm doing, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
making little ledges, so it makes things realistic.
Oh, I see.
It makes it feel more true. But yeah, well, I do play other games which I enjoy. But the question there is, do you want to stick those on your channel? So if I go and do something else, I will specifically pick a game and probably do the same with it as I've done with Scrap Mechanic, is go all out on it for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm not finished with Scrap Mechanic at all. I've got at least a list of 20 things which I'm interested in doing still as a video.
Oh, excellent.
So, but the truth is, you can't spend you can't make your entire career on it.
No.
I think the people who do that on YouTube, so if you look at Mr. Scrapman, I think he would be one of the only ones who manages to pull it off on basis of Scrap Mechanic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as one of your subscribers, I'm very happy that you just said you've got at least 20 things still planned, because I'm enjoying watching your stuff a lot. Yeah, but obviously having seen how creative you are with your videos, I know whatever you do after that, or when you choose a different game or whatever, I'll definitely be interested to see what you come up with. So that's quite exciting.
I think one of the things that a new content would have to have is the ability for me to storify it, because I do like holding on to that format of it. So that's a bit of a challenge, finding games that do that. And many games will give you a quest interface you have to go through, or force you with pop-ups all the time to be doing certain stuff. Now, Scrap Mechanic allows you to turn your interface off, and all of a sudden you've created a cartoon world in which you can start recording your own story.
Yeah, that's something I always forget to do, and I edit my videos and I'm thinking, why have I left the interface on? And it's always in the way, and it's
all right, let me give you a tip. So if you're going to be recording Scrap Mechanic and you're going to turn your interface off, you're also going to lose your crosshairs in the middle of your screen.
Yeah,
I have a little bit of, and this tip comes from Dr. Pixel Plays. I have a little bit of silly putty sitting in the middle of my screen on my screen in front of me, and then when I turn the interface off, I still know where to shoot.
Oh, what a great idea!
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, I thought about it in one of my videos that came. Actually, I don't think it's out yet. By the time this, it should be out by the time this is out.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, I'll do a nice shot of me flying along in my flying machine, flying home. I'll turn the interface off, and obviously then my home beacon thing went off as well. And I thought, no, I got no idea where I'm flying, so I had to turn it all back on again. But I think for generally when you're on the ground, or you're not navigating, should I say, because I'm terrible at navigating, so I definitely need my beacons. Yeah.
I don't usually stray very far from home.
Right, yeah.
I keep myself safe.
I got so frustrated with the lag on my base, I thought I wanted to leave it, so I was flying around just having a look at all the POIs.
See where you could go.
Yeah. So, as I just mentioned, I was getting frustrated with the lag that I'd created in my base. What are your biggest pet peeves about Scrap Mechanic?
Well, the fact that the cookbot cannot be connected to a chest.
Do you know, I'd never even thought of that. Yeah.
Isn't that I mean, why not? All our other bots can.
Yeah. So you could tell it to not constantly, but...
Right, because now I spend a lot of time just standing there waiting for it to produce burgers.
Yeah, one at a time.
It's not very well automated. Well, so there's that. I mean, I could complain about technical things. Do I want to? Not really. I'd rather them give us a bit more content. So we've seen one major update, if you want, with the oil pools since the release.
Yep.
And I'm talking survival specifically now. And so we've had a wonderful dev blog showing us a rubbish guy on the roof of the warehouse, and caves and sticky wheels and exploding tote bots. But we've also seen little jars which will spawn bots for creative. So there's lots of stuff being leaked, but it's not in the game yet, and they need to speed that up a little bit.
Yeah.
And even if they're just drip feeding content, give us some new stuff to play with.
Yeah.
And I understand software needs to be developed properly, but so that's not a peeve, but that's gosh, I wish it was better.
Yeah, definitely. I think I think when the first version of this game came out, it was the highest or the most popular game on Steam, I believe. And I think when the survival mode came out, it was, I think, second or third most downloaded game on Steam, or something like that. So they got quite a big community behind them, and I think that, as you say, that there's a risk if you don't
feed your community.
Yeah, I think that they're lucky that there's still a lot of support and players based on how long it took to get from creative to survival. So it would be nice, like you say, if it was a little bit, they fed us a little bit.
And I know it's a small studio, but it's been in early access as creative for 6 years.
Yes.
So that's a long time for something to be in early access, really.
Yeah.
So there we go. I think I'm getting happier with this now.
Cool.
It was just getting a bit very bland with the colours.
All right. So there's a few a little negativity about it, but let's move to something positive then. So with Chapter 2 coming out, you've already mentioned a few things that they've teased. What are you most looking forward to about Chapter 2?
Well, the guy on the roof, because I've already been pondering on how to take him out as fast as possible.
Yeah. And as they say, it's like the first actual boss, so I'm wondering how difficult he's going to be. Because I think most people thought that the red farm bots were bosses.
Right. Well, I guess he's a bot, because when you crack him open, apparently at the end, you get a prize off him.
So is there anything that you would like to see in the game, that nothing that's been teased yet, and obviously nothing to do with your pet peeves, but something you think you would love to see in the game?
Okay. So what I'd like to see is that we have things in creative that don't overlap with survival yet, but which would be amazing. So there's the tile builder in creative. But it would be so neat with the tile builder plus the survival elements, and the concept of this bots which you can spawn from jars. There's a Twitter message about that with an image of little jars you'll be able to put down somewhere, and they'll spawn bots. Because what that will let us do is make mini games for each other. Because we've already got a workshop where you can get vehicles and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you have the world builder, which will actually allow you to build games inside it using the survival elements with your food and your health bar, and I do feel that is probably where they want to go.
Yeah.
They'll have created a game building system as well as a game. That's just an amazing achievement then.
Right.
So I'd like to see that come together. That would really cheer me up.
Yeah.
Because I've put out Bot Rush once, which is a survival map you can download from my website.
Okay.
And it's a game. There's where you come in. There's 10 haybots waiting for you at the mechanic station, and there's a course you have to take them through, and you have to get them to the end of the course without losing any.
Oh yes, I've seen this. Let me link to it at the top of this video, because I have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. But that is a mini game just based around as much as you can do with survival as is at the moment. But I'd have a field day if they gave us a building kit for proper games that people could download, press the start button, be spawned in somewhere in a world which I've created in the tile builder with quests in there or actions to do and all kinds of bots to fight in ways you haven't done it before.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. So I only actually have one other question to ask, and this is an unusual one.
All right. In
the sense that I want to ask you, what question would you like to ask the next person that joins ScrapChat? Now, I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Well, it's going to be a YouTuber, isn't it? Or somebody who does content creation. All right, well, if they would collaborate with me, what would they like to do?
Okay.
There you go.
Right, I will certainly ask them.
Off the top of my head. I'd be curious to see what I end up doing or not doing.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. That's good. Awesome. Right. I love the way that the sun comes through your front door.
It does. It beams out onto the road, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah, it actually comes through the window, doesn't it? That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Maybe we need a bit more glass up there. But I guess that's it. This is my house for now. It would be it would be lovely to come back one day and we can.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you've done a really good job. I think you've a really nice looking house there.
I'm quite proud of it. For a bit of wood, glass, and carpet.
Yeah, and you picked a brilliant location as well with the sun right in your back garden, which I didn't think about, and I'm very annoyed.
Well, that's where you get with a functional designer. I thought about my requirements.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I just went straight in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for coming along to this yet to be named village and building your house.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Thanks for having me.
I'll link to your channel in the description, so anybody who doesn't or hasn't seen you, they obviously
come and watch my wackiness.
Yeah, please do. It's awesome stuff. And for everyone who's watching, I hope to see you again in the next episode of ScrapChat. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.